Hello, everyone. It's Kathy, the Backyard Stamper, and I'm here tonight to show you how to make these fun rocker cards. I've done these before, but I thought that the Sweetest Star bundle is perfect for it because the images fit the top of the rocker perfectly. So we're going to be using a bundle from our mini catalog. Let me show you. Actually, the supplies are very minimal. So we're going to be using the stamp set and punch. This is a bundle that is in our September to December 2024 mini catalog. And the bundle price is $38.50, which I think is a great price point for a holiday set and a punch that you can continue to use well past the Christmas season. In the catalog, they have this beautiful wreath too made with it. I haven't done that yet, but I really want to give that a shot. And it's just punching out different designer papers and scoring them. And then they showed a couple more samples. So we're going to be using this bundle. We're also going to use the 2 3/8 circle punch. This is available as an online item. It's not in our catalog. And we'll be using our Memento black ink and also Real Red. We'll be using a half a sheet of Real Red cardstock, a half a sheet of basic white cardstock, just a strip of the glimmer paper in red, and a piece of the designer paper from Reindeer Days. So that paper looks like this. It's a 12 by 12 pack, and the sheets look like this. I just cut it down. We're going to be using this one, and some light bulbs and some deer, and the dies that go with this bundle cut some of the deer images out too. So that's always fun when you get a 2-for-1. The reindeers are so cute though, aren't they? So it's a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and the coordinating colors are Real Red, Granny Apple Green, Garden Green, Pool Party, Pecan Pie, and Early Espresso. And here's the number. Ooh, it's a lucky number, 166166. And the cost is $12.50 for that DSP. And the glimmer paper is called the Festive Glimmer Paper. It's also a 12 by 12 pack. And you get Real Red, Garden Green, and Granny Apple Green. And it looks like I didn't put my label on yet. So those are the two designer papers. And we're also going to be using the deckled circles. And the code number or item number is 162286. I believe these are the online. I didn't see them in the catalog, but we're going to be using the second largest and the third largest. Third from the outside, okay? This is a great, this has 14 circle dies in it. It is a wonderful value. And so we're going to be using these two. So let me just set my stuff aside here. Oops. I promise no plumber will be coming tonight. Last week in the middle of my live, the plumber stopped by because I had a little leak. And my husband had gone golfing, but he scheduled the plumber to come during the live. And so, yeah, you got to hear the dog barking and everything else. So let's see here. We'll put these up here because it helps keep the glare down from the glass mat. All right. So what you're going to do, what I like about the rocker cards are well, they're easy, which I love that, but you can cut 2 at a time. So this is, you know, half sheet, just regular, like you would fold it into a card base. And you put the large die on, and it just fits, which is perfect, okay? And you have all this to use for scrap after you've cut it. So I went ahead and die cut that. So I've got 2 ready to go. Okay. And next you're going to take the next size down deckled circle. Again, I cut 2. I just did a 8.5 by 11 and I just cut it in half. And you're going to just place that over here, and that way you have all this extra for another project. And we're actually going to use one of these. So I already did that. I cut those. So you've got, okay. Then what we're going to do is you take your trimmer and you put the circle in, and the circle is about 5 inches. And so I found if you cut it right at 2.5, it's about the halfway. It doesn't need to be exact. This is going on the inside. So when you cut 2 sheets of cards, or one whole cardstock, if you stack them and do 2 at a time, and you cut them in half, you get 4 inside pieces at, you know, with one cut. Hope you understand that. So these, you just leave there. Now the designer paper, what I did was I cut it at 5 inches because each half is, or the die that I want to use is 5 inches. But if I cut this, then one of my rockers is going to have the reindeer going in the right direction, but the other one, the reindeers are going to be upside down. So if you have a directional paper, you have to pay attention to that. So what we're going to do instead is take this piece and cut it right in half at 2.5. So on the white, I cut after I die cut. And on the designer paper, I'm going to cut that piece in half before we die cut. So then I'm going to put my die, and I'm going to bring it as close as I can to the bottom. Make sure I'm in the camera there so you can see what I'm doing. And right about there. And I'm going to just use a little tiny piece of, I have, this is wall safe tape. It's like a you know, a painting tape, or like when you're marking where your pictures go on your wall. So let's see here. Do I want any of these really cute guys? I do. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it like that. And I'm going to tape it right there. Then I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. Let me make some room. All right. So we've got that. And it's a regular die sandwich. So you have plate 1, plate 2. Let's put them in. Plate 1 is your base plate. 2 is your thin die adapter, so those are going to go down. Plate 3, and then your paper and die. Now I do want to just make sure that my 2 halves are lined up, and they are. So I am going to put it like that, and then I'm going to put I have a couple that I have marked to use as a top plate only. And that looks good, so I'm gonna send it through. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Okay, see, my reindeer are all going in the right direction. Yay! And let's just get rid of these. All right. So my die cutting's done, and we're ready to move on. So in my samples, I've got Santa. Let me put an ink pad behind this guy so he could stand up a little bit. And I've got Mrs. Claus here, and let me put my little chick stand, and there, like that. And so what I wanted to do for Mrs. Claus, I turned it over. So there's two sides to your paper, remember? And then for your red, so the paper has a natural bend to it, like a grain. And when you are against the grain, it's hard to bend it without scoring. But when you're with the grain, it really is flexible. So as long as you're with the grain, you don't need to score this. And I found that it is a little easier to just do it by hand. So I just kind of pinched it down with my fingers. And again, I'm going to check which way. See, that's kind of resisting. So I want to get it so that it's the easiest to fold. Pinch that down, and then I'll make my crease. Okay, so we've got our first part of our rocker. Woo-woo, we're rocking it tonight. And then, see how just cutting that at, my strip was 2.5, and I had it right on the edge. So it fits perfectly there. So we'll go ahead and attach that. Just use some liquid adhesive. And that way I can slide it if I need to. So what I found is I like it when it's right at the top. There. So that one's done. Let's do this one. I just love these rocker cards because they're so easy to make, but people are like, wow. So, hey, I'll take a wow any day, right, with my cards. All right, so now I've got my 2 rockers. I didn't quite get that at the top, but it's glued on, but that's okay because it all looks nice. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my strip of the red and my 2 3/8 inch punch. I'll turn that one over so you can see it. And I'm going to cut 2 circles. Now, when I've made my rocker cards before, I've used the deckled circles for this part, but you know, the punch works perfectly. It's the exact size I wanted, so I'm all for using punches when I can. All right, so let me set these all aside, and let's bring in my scrap of the white. So remember how we've cut that top part out. Now I have these, and I'm going to do my stamping on that part. So what I want to do, I've got my Mrs. Claus, and I'm just going to ink it up. And sometimes with these bigger stamps, it's easier to just turn them over. Let me just wipe that off a little bit. Hey, Cindy. Hi, Christina. Thanks for jumping on, ladies. All right, so we're going to just do her. And then I'm just going to turn it around and do Mr. Claus. I have some samples of other cards I made with this bundle. It's so cute. And I think my mom has some of that gingerbread paper from a couple years ago that I'm gonna go see if she's still got them in her stash and use the gingerbread stamp for that. So, you know what? I'm gonna color first, only because I think it's easier to color when you've got your big object. So the coloring goes really fast because you're only using green and red and a smidge of black. So I've got my Granny Apple greens, light and dark, my real red, light and dark. I've got the dark Daffodil Delight, the light basic black, and a skin tone and some gray for Mrs. Claus's hair, and just a little pretty in pink for the cheeks. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let's do the Santa. And what I like to do is start with the belt buckle. Get that little bit of yellow out of the way. There. And then I'm going to come in and do the black on the belt buckle. I hope you guys had a nice day today. It was a perfect fall day here in New Hampshire, which makes me feel a little guilty because of all the people in Florida. My brother lives outside of Orlando with his wife, and they made it through with a little bit of damage, but all in all, they came out okay, thankfully. Okay, so now we've got our jacket we're gonna do, and so this is the light, and I'm just gonna do like fill in the whole area with the light red. So one of my downline and I work together, and we are doing a team building event at work next week. We do them, I think, every month. There's a team building, and people rotate who does them. So Kim and I decided to sign up, and it's coinciding with the cards for the military, which began in New Hampshire. So we are going to bring in, we've got cards all ready for people to make, and there's 17 in our department that will be attending the team building. And I think we have enough cut for like 100 cards, so people can make 4 or 5 depending on how quick they want to be. And we're using the warm wishes that were the add-on for the paper pumpkin last year, and then the ephemera, the joyful images ephemera, and the joyful sayings and the tags, because and then I also had some of the Berry Cute cards and envelopes and left over from last year. So we're using that and the ephemera, and people are going to be just so surprised at how fast their cards come together with no experience. So we're pretty excited about that. So we're doing that next Tuesday, so I can tell you how it went next week when I see you. So have you ladies made any rocker cards? Have you tried making them yet? Just a little bit of red up there. Okay, so Santa is almost done. Let me just blend that a little bit, soften the dark lines. It's really, I mean, super simple coloring, which is, I love, because, you know, it's easy with the blends. Plus, you know, it doesn't scare people because it's pretty simple coloring. Actually, let me just get that spot there a little bit. Okay. Now for his face, I'm using the 1000 skin tone. You can make his skin tone any shade that you like. And I am going to give him a little bit of rosy cheeks. And then he's done. And let me turn it around and do Mrs. Santa. So for her, what I did was I did Granny Apple Green and red. And then afterwards I thought, I think that was supposed to be a white collar. So let's try it and leave it white, and you guys can tell me if you think it should be colored in or not. So if I color her, if I do everything in green except for the ruffles and the dress, like just do the apron part in green, Granny Apple Green to be exact. I think this weekend I'm going to make an apple pie because I went apple picking at our local farm last week and got some beautiful, beautiful apples. Apple Hill Farm is our local farm right here down the road from me here in New Hampshire. And they're wonderful. The owners are wonderful, wonderful people. Okay, so I'm gonna do like same thing as I did with the red, which is just kind of do the light, then do some shading, and then blend it like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna do her red, and this is the light. Hi, Melanie. Thanks for jumping on. So I have, I know I do like applesauce when it is just made, like when it's warm. And then after that, I don't like it. So I end up canning it, and then I don't eat it. I only eat it while I'm canning it. So I do can some because it's really good with pork roast and pork chops, you know. That's always good. And the best part is that you can put it in with your squash when you're cooking butternut squash or in whatever squash you like for Thanksgiving, and add the applesauce to it, and oh my gosh, that take your squash to a whole nother level. And I actually, if I can, I roast my squash usually to cook it, and I'll throw the apples in roasting next to it and use some of those too, so that you really get that flavor when you grind it all up. So my garden is still going. I can't even believe it. I've got one tomato plant that still keeps giving me some nice cherry tomatoes, like not baby ones, they're nice size. And I have a lot of broccoli still, and a ton of kale, which I'm dehydrating, and I'm doing some in kale chips, which I like the ones that I've done them before and I didn't like them, but this variety of kale I have is really good when it's dried, so that works. And then let me just run some shadows on this one too. And I still have some flowers growing, so we haven't had a hard frost, so I have like a vase of snapdragons that I picked and cut, and I have that on our kitchen. So nice. And I have peas growing and radishes too, because I did a second crop of those. So yeah, my garden is still going. Do you guys garden? And what do you grow if you do? Do you grow a little bit of everything or? Oh, that's a good idea, Cindy. Just make it and then warm it up. I know it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same to me. But I will. I need to give that a try because I have it canned downstairs, and actually I made a lot of it into apple butter. But that's really good on pork roast. You just kind of dump the jar on top of the pork roast and let it bake. All right, I'm almost done. I just want to do her boots. I'm going to give her a little bit of black boots too. What do you think? Should I leave the white ruffle? I kind of think I should. Because then I have one with it colored in green and one not. So then we can look at them at the end and decide if we like which one we like. So I'm going to color her hands and her face. See how it's really, really easy coloring. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, and I'm going to give her a little gray hair. On one of my samples I didn't. I left it white, and then I did another card and I did her gray. It's just kind of funny because Santa is got white hair, not gray hair. So, well, he doesn't even really have any hair showing. Okay, so now, whoop, we got to give her some rosy cheeks too. All right, so this is the light pretty in pink. They are. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. I am in New Hampshire, Melanie, and I have a pretty good size garden in my backyard. And I actually have three different gardens because I have one that's my main garden, and then I use grow bags in another area of our property that gets additional sun, and then I have my lettuces and herbs on my front porch. So I have 3 different gardens, but only one is my main garden. All right, so now let's put some Winkostella. And what I want to do, I filled my Winkostella. So you know how sometimes, well, I don't know if this has happened to you or not, but you get a blob of glitter. So what I found is if I just hold it up instead of holding it down, then I don't have to worry about that blob. But in this case, since I want a lot of glitter on him, his beard, I'm glittering everything that was white. Whoops, there goes the blob. Whew, that was a good save. Okay. So I'll keep this up for a little bit. There. Oh yeah, you can really see that. Okay, and then we'll do her. I'm gonna glitter up her hair a little bit too, because, you know, I can, right? And we'll do her ruffles with some glitter. Looking to see if I can see that or not. I'll drop it down just a little bit for a few minutes, and then I just don't want to have it be running all over. Ah. And we'll put it on her whole apron. How about that? There. I don't want to do the red part though, because I really want it to show up on the white. Okay, so let's bring our pieces back in. We've got our 2 circles. We're gonna attach her on that with dimensionals, which I have right here. The Winter Lettuce Capital. Where's that? I have a greenhouse, so I can start my stuff a little earlier because our growing season isn't, I mean, it's not bad, but it is New England. We can't really start anything before the end of May outside. And it's usually done by the end of October, unless you have frost hardy stuff, and then sometimes you can get into November. Oh yeah, you know, I had cauliflower too this year, but for my variety that I did last year was the big white heads. This year, I don't know what it was, but they weren't. Maybe they were duds. I'm not sure. So then I'm gonna just put them on my glitter circles. Oh, okay. If you can revive a blend, okay, so I've done it. I've actually taken it apart and refilled it and had success. And I have a video out there on how to do it. So since I made that video, I bought different tips though. And the first video that I had, you had to use a Dremel to get them to fit. And with these new tips that I got, I'm looking for them right now to see if I can find them. Here they are. I got, nope, those are the ones. I should just do an updated video on them, but honestly, I haven't had any that needed repairing again since the ones I did. This is what I do. I put them where they're safe, and then I can't find them. All right, well, that's for another day. Okay, so we want Mrs. Claus on the because he's got to be with his reindeer. Okay, so now to glue, what you want to do is apply your adhesive at the top, right? And then at the bottom. So that way you know you're not going to go past the halfway mark. Now, when you make a rocker card, you can't have the dimension from this point to this point be more than 4 1/4, or it won't fit in your envelope. I'm just eyeballing it to see if it's straight. That looks pretty good. And when I measured it before, yeah, it's just under, it's about 4 1/8, so it's perfect. You can, normally I would bring the circle down just a smidge to give it some more stability, but this one's fine. So we'll do her. Okay, so then I just, again, just kind of, I'm eyeballing, centering side to side, basically. And I want her to be straight. A couple of my samples, I got all done gluing, and she's like, whoa! And I'm like, whoa! Okay, so now, this, oops, sorry. This stamp set has a long saying, which is I love, because this is my new favorite way to do my sentiments, is take these leftover strips, and let me get a skinny one like that one. The leftover strips from when you make your card bases, or your inside layer, I mean, and you end up with a bazillion of these. So whenever I can use them, I do. So I'm going to and if you guys can like and share my video and ask your friends to subscribe, that would really help me. I'm trying so hard to get to 1,000 subscribers, you know, and up against some of these people like my friend Kim, who has 40,000. It's like, oh, it's daunting, but I just want 1,000. So, all right, so there's my 2 sayings, and then I'm gonna bring my inside pieces back into the picture, and they are right here. So here's my 2 white pieces. Let me just check them to make sure they're gonna fit. Yep. So that's exactly what I did again, just like I did with the designer paper, is I just put it in my paper trimmer and eyeballed 2 1/2, and that's about the halfway for both. So it's not rocker science. How's that for a good pun? Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. All right, so let's close this up. And I got these and these. This is flipped over. Let me just get my trimmer here. And this is what else I like to do. I just like to go zip and zip. That's my new favorite way to do my sentiments. Okay, so we've got Holly Jolly Christmas. Oh, she looks so cute. And I'm gonna just do like 3 dimensionals across, or you can do 4 if you want. It's a long sentiment, so I got 4 in my hand, so we'll do 4 on this guy. I love it when the cards are so cute, you know, because I make serious cards too, but while I'm making them, I'm not like hee 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 like I am on the cute cards. Oh. All right, so I've got my dimensionals off. We'll do our, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that, oh, it's kind of in the middle, but not, yeah, just like that. You want to make sure it doesn't go past, because it will look a little funny if it goes past, I think. And, but you know what I say to my class people, it's your card, you can do what you want. Alrighty, so here we got Mrs. Claus and have a holly jolly Christmas. And let me put the insides in. And I find liquid glue is the easiest to use on a project like this, because you want to be able to slide it to get it right up against the fold. So I'm gonna put that in just like that and kind of have it, the fold started, so I don't go past it. And I'm centering it there, like that. And then let's do the same thing on this one. And we'll do that like that. There. See, it's like, because it's on the, if it's, you know, a little bit crooked, part of it is the stamp set, because it's like fun font, you know. Look at this one, Baking Spirits Bright with the gingerbread cookie, who looks like a Pillsbury Doughboy. So I have to do that one yet. All right, and then this guy here had ho ho ho. So I just wanted to show you real quick how I did that. So I have my strip here, and let me bring in my scrap paper. You guys can probably guess, because you see it right there. I'm going to, there's a word holly, so I'm just going to do holly 3 times, and then cut out the ho ho. Get that out of the way. There's one. Whacking them off. Okay. There's 2. Here's my 3rd holly. And the reason I put this on my other sample was because I had like an area that didn't have any reindeer because of the way the designer paper. So this one looks like it's a little better. So isn't that cute to make the ho 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 out of the word holly? And then I think I've got a spot right here. So I'm going to just put 3 dots of glue, and we'll do like on a slant ho ho ho. 1, 2, 3, like that. And then using the Take Your Pick tool, which is, this is a great way to use this tool here, is, I'm just fixing my putty there. Just pick up your word and go, there's 1, there's 2, and 3. And then you can kind of slide it as you need to straighten it out. There. Oh, isn't it cute? Oh, I gotta put my bling on. Can't forget the bling bling. Let's see here. I have just rhinestone basic jewels. And I say just because, you know, they're not the fanciest jewels, but you know what? I use them all the time. I love the size they come in. Geez, that one just wants to jump all over. It's like a jumping bean. There. And we'll put 2 like that. And we'll put 1 down here. So there's my Santa one. Oh! Sorry, that's probably annoying when I'm like going, oh, it's so cute. But I can't help it. This card just makes me smile. All right, we'll split you guys up. There. And put the top on. Move everything out of the way, and here we are. And they stand up, and this is what's fun about a rocker card. Isn't that neat? So, that's a sample of this really cute stamp set. So I'll bring in my other samples and show you what. So again, it's Sweetest Star. It's the bundle with the star punch. So I made this one. This is just a square card. So it's 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then I cut it, or it's folded on 4 1/4, so it makes a square card. But look at this. Mrs. Claus moves and says, "May your days be merry and bright." So what I did was I put a little brad up on the top. So I punched the star twice. Oh, well, I had her first, and then I stamped this and punched it. So, and then I just put it on the brad, and the brad is, I went through, it's through the red to help hold it down, or let it swing. There you go. Pretty kind of a little hidden message there. And then this one, I used the designer paper again across the bottom and decorating the inside. This is Reindeer Days. And I cut out the garland that was like on this one. I just cut along and did Mr. and Mrs. And I've got my little glitter on. And here I did with the white. This one I did all green. See the difference there? And this one I did green clothes and a red apron. So she was rocking it. And then I have this one, and for this I used the Forever Plaid embossing folder and the two-tone cardstock. So this is Garden Green two-toned, and let me show you what that does. So the two-tone has a darker side and a lighter side, and they're pretty close to our cardstock. You know, I mean, there might be just a smidge off, but it's the same hue. So it just gives you, so these give you two more color choices. And then what the two-tone is, though, is it's got a white center. So our cardstock, like the real red, is dyed all the way through. So when you cut an edge, there's no white showing. It's dyed all the way through. This is printed, so you can kind of see where the white is. But with these embossing, you can take some sandpaper and just sand lightly. And where it's the embossing is lifted up, it the bump is up, so the sandpaper's hitting it, and you get a cool little design. So that's how I did the background to this. So that's pretty neat. And I guess that's all the tips I have for this here. But let me just tell you quickly about, okay, so you know about the stamp set. Don't forget about deckled circles. You get 14 circles in this set of dies. I think I've used all of them except the biggest one, because the biggest one is 5 3/4. So you would need a bigger envelope. So today is the last day to, no, I was going to say today is the last day to sign up for the paper pumpkin for October's, which you'll get in November. And no, you'll get it in October. Today's the last day. You can subscribe till October 10th. And then, but there's a sale if you're a new subscriber. It's, if you put in the code holiday40, then you'll get 40% off your first box in the subscription. So that's a pretty good deal. And I have a host code, and what I do is anyone that orders $40 or more using my host code for this month will receive a card pack in the mail from me to make 3 cards. Now we're going to be doing the card pieces. You'll get everything that you need to make 3 cards, and next week I'll show what the cards are going to be. We're going to be using golden greenery and the designer paper. So, and that makes some really lovely cards with the gold, and it just looks, the foil paper, whew, so good. And then don't forget that there's a starter special. If it's a perfect time to get what you want on your list and become a demonstrator, and then you'll get 20% at discount on your any future purchases. So this month in October until October 31st, instead of $125, they're giving you an extra 30. So you get $155 of products of your choice that can come out of this magazine, the annual catalog. There's some new online exclusives coming out starting in November that demonstrators can pre-order. You can put those in your shopping cart. And there's some really fun ones. I don't have my flyer right here, but and then so I just wanted to show you the math on this. So let me just flip this over for a second and put that there. So normally you get 125 and you pay only 99. But with this special, you get $30 extra. So that's $155 of products of your choice. Plus, they throw in a free paper pumpkin, a past paper pumpkin kit, and I don't know what month it will be, but it's a value of $25. So that gives you $180 of product value, which is amazing. Plus, the starter kit is free shipping. So that's another 11% off of $180 that you're going to save. So that brings your total value of the starter kit in October to $199.80. But guess what? You only pay $99. So yay! It's a perfect time to join my team of backyard stampers. We have a lot of fun, and there's no pressure. You know, I have people in my team that just like to get the starter kit, get everything they want, and then they don't buy anything else, and eventually they'll just drop off. And then I have others that are working at like a business or part-time business. I call it a jobby because it's a part-time job for me, but it's also my hobby. But I've lost my train of thought. Let me think here. Oh, the best part about joining in October is it's the beginning of the quarter. So it's the the way it works is you have to sell or buy $300 of product every quarter. So a quarter is like the calendar quarter. So it's January, February, March, you know, April, May, June, so on. So October is the beginning of a quarter. So it's October, November, December. The first quarter doesn't count. You don't have to meet a minimum in that first quarter. But everything that you sell or buy in those 3 months counts towards that next, your first full quarter. So if you buy the starter kit and you don't buy anything else, you'll still be active until the end of April, which brings you through to next year's annual catalog, meaning you can pre-order. Celebrations coming up in the spring catalog, you'd be able to pre-order for that and get your 20% discount. It's the best time to join is at the beginning of a quarter. And I love it when they combine that with the starter kit special, because remember, your value is $199, but you only pay $99. So that's my spiel for tonight. It's a lot of fun. I've been around for a long time. I was a demonstrator starting in 2002, and I was a demonstrator for 9 years, and then I took a break and then rejoined 3 years ago. So it definitely lets me buy my stuff at a discount, and I earn some for free and make a little bit of side money too. So it's all good. Lots of fun. So that's it for now, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you again next week. Thanks all for watching. Don't forget, like, share, and follow my channel. Tell your friends to follow me so I can try to get to my 1,000 subscribers. Thanks. Have a great night.